On Wednesday, I broke the story of an ominous involvement of the China Investment Corporation in a local development by Brent Hill Properties after acquiring the land from the city of Vancouver. While both the city and Ernst & Young, who they hired to consult on the deal, have responded. In a correction to the original engagement letter, Kevin Brennan, the senior vice president at Ernst & Young, and the man responsible for the engagement letter to begin with, suggests that the reference to the China Investment Corporation was simply a mistake. So I called him to ask him if, after charging the City of Vancouver taxpayers $140,000 for the report, if he was simply copy and pasting from other engagement letters.
I think what happened was, I don't have any basis or any way of confirming it directly. It's 100% my fault, so I'll take that. But I think what happened was that I was working on several engagement letters at the same time. And from recollection, I think what happened was that I likely had more than one engagement letter open on my computer and inserted that clause into the wrong one.
Boy, that's an awfully bad mistake for the senior vice president of a Big Four accounting firm to make, especially since he charges $625 an hour. And what's more is the city's legal team and city council should have reviewed this document. But according to NPA City Councillor George Affleck, that did not happen. So for me anyway, I'm not convinced. But there is more to this deal than just the reference and possible involvement of the China Investment Corporation. Thanks to the very hard work of organizations like the South Vancouver Park Society and Glen Chernin, it was brought to my attention that the city signed off on a dramatic 83% reduction in the land value, essentially wiping $50 million off after the original $59 million valuation in January 2015. In March, that number was dropped to $9 million. I met with Glen Chernin today to hear more about this dirty deal.
This goes back to early 2015 when it came to our society's attention that a number of assessments had been reduced significantly. Assessments involving large rezonings in the city of Vancouver. We went to the local Vancouver office to discuss these reductions with officials, and it was disclosed to us right off the bat that a company named Burgess Colley Sullivan had negotiated private agreed amendment with that office to reduce these. The city has been paying this firm. The city has refused to disclose the invoices for payment to this firm. Not only that, probably the most troubling of all is that the original complaint for one of these reductions, a $50 million reduction, required the owner's approval. The city of Vancouver was the owner of that property. So the city of Vancouver either approved the amendment, which this firm negotiated, or BC Assessment acted without the authority that was required.
Something fishy is going on at BC Assessment. Over the past few weeks while investigating this case, I visited a number of BC Assessment offices to try to obtain documents that show the land was once valued at $59 million, as this 2015 assessment notice suggests. However, at each and every visit, despite speaking with multiple employees at multiple offices, I was denied these public documents. The excuses range from the fact that the document doesn't exist on their computers to that it contains incorrect information. Therefore, they could not provide them to me. It accumulated last week when the deputy assessor for this deal came to speak with me, and I again was told that he could not explain why the land value was dropped so dramatically, and he refused to provide any documents that show the original $59 million valuation, as you've seen in this assessment notice, erroneously given to the South Vancouver Park Society. But between the secrecy of BC Assessment and the revelation that Burgess Colley Sullivan were working for both sides during the reduction, we are left today with more questions than answers. So I served up 10 hard-hitting questions on this deal right back to the City of Vancouver and their Strategic Issues Manager, Tobin Postma. But as of today, they have refused to answer any of them. For the Rebel.media, I'm Christopher Wilson. Thank you for watching. This story is not done, so I will continue reporting on this for you, the Vancouver taxpayer. And that's what you can expect from the Rebel going forward. And if you want to keep funding this kind of independent journalism that won't back down to the powers that be, whether it's City Hall or powerful developers, then check out our next goal at thebigplan.ca, and you can help fund the future of Rebel Media.